Welcome back to Man United Archive. Here is the list of Manchester United's managers until Erik ten Hag. A.H. Albert was Newton Hearts' first full-time employee and effectively his first manager. As club secretary, he handled all team matters, including picking the starting lineup on match days and overseeing the club's relocation to Bank Road in 1893 before moving to Old Trafford. Although the term manager wasn't commonly used back then, Albert's role encompassed the responsibilities we associate with managers of today. James West was Newton's Hearts' last and Manchester United's first manager after the 1902 name change. He managed the team in the second tier. Ernest Magnall. Manchester United's first golden era dawned under Ernest Magnall's leadership in the early 20th century. Magnall, the only person to manage both Manchester United and Manchester City, achieved remarkable success such as promotion to the First Division in 1906, First Division title in 1908, inaugural Charity Shield win in 1908, second league title in 1911, maiden FA Cup victory in 1909. Magnall also played a pivotal role in United's relocation from Bank Street to Old Trafford in 1910, recognizing the need for a larger and more suitable stadium. T.J. Walworth. In 1912, when Ernest Magnall left Manchester United to join Manchester City, T.J. Walworth acted as the club secretary as he took temporary charge of Manchester United, managing just 6 games with a 50% win rate. John Bentley. John Bentley's tenure as Manchester United's manager failed to replicate the success of Ernest Magnall. Notably, Bentley's responsibilities extended beyond team management to overseeing all club affairs. However, legends suggest he focused less on team operation. Bentley had originally been an accountant and a journalist before being a founder committee member of the Football League in 1888 and later its president from 1894 until 1910, as well vice president of the FA. John Robson. John Robson is considered Manchester United's first modern-era manager, marking a shift away from the traditional secretary-led approach. Robson's tenure in 1914 to 1921 was interrupted by World War I, which suspended English football after the 1914 and 15 season. In his 3 full seasons, Manchester United finished in the bottom half of the First Division. Due to ill health, Robson resigned in late 1921 and tragically passed away just 3 months later. John Chapman. The 1920s were a turbulent time for Manchester United. Scottish manager John Chapman, the club's first non-English boss, took charge in 1921, but his tenure was marked by relegation to the second division in 1922, promotion back to the first division in 1925, and abrupt departure in 1926 due to an FA suspension for improper conduct, with reasons remaining undisclosed. Lal Idita. Lal Idita spent 16 years at Manchester United, accumulating over 300 appearances. His journey began in Cheshire, playing for Hertford, Witton Albion and Atkinson before joining Manchester United. In 1926, at 32, Idita took on a new role as player manager, succeeding John Chapman until the end of the 1926 and 27 season. He then resumed his playing career, continuing until his retirement in 1932. Herbert Bamlett. Before entering management, Herbert Bamlett had a distinguished refereeing career, highlighted by officiating the 1914 FA Cup final. Bamlett managed several clubs, including Oldham, Wigan Borough, and Middlesbrough, before joining Manchester United. However, his Old Trafford tenure was marked by financial struggles following owner John Henry Davies' death in 1927, relegation in 1931, subsequent contract non-renewal. Walter Klickmann. Walter Klickmann, Manchester United's dedicated club secretary, stepped in as caretaker manager twice. In 1931, he led the team in the second division. In 1937, he provided interim leadership. Klickmann's lasting impact came through developing United's youth system alongside owner James W. Gibson in the late 1930s. Tragically, Klickmann's life was cut short in the 1958 Munich air disaster while serving as club secretary. Scott Duncan. Scott Duncan, a pioneering manager with a playing background, took the reins at Manchester United in 1932. Duncan inherited a second division side and achieved promotion to the first division in 1936. However, immediate relegation followed. Unfortunately, Duncan also holds the record for United's lowest finish in the Football League, 20th place in the second division. Matt Busby. The modern era of Manchester United began in 1945 with the appointment of Matt Busby, transforming the struggling club. Busby, aided by James W. Gibson's financial backing, swiftly delivered success. In 1948 FA Cup, ending a 37-year trophy drought. 3 league titles in the 1950s with the iconic Busby Babes, largely developed from the club's youth academy. Tragedy struck in 1958 with the Munich air disaster, claiming 8 players and several staff. Busby, racked with guilt, was persuaded to continue. A decade later, Busby's rebuilt team achieved its long-sought European Cup in 1968. Busby stepped down in 1969, transitioning to the boardroom. However, his lingering influence led to a brief, unsuccessful managerial return in 1970. Jimmy Murphy. In the aftermath of the Munich air disaster, Jimmy Murphy played a crucial role in keeping Manchester United afloat, with Matt Busby hospitalized and fighting for his life. Murphy stepped in as interim manager. He led a makeshift United team to the 1958 FA Cup final at Wembley. Murphy's leadership was all the more remarkable given his own narrow escape from the tragedy, having missed the ill-fated European trip due to his prior commitment to the Wales national team. With McGuinness. With McGuinness, a talented Busby babe whose playing career was curtailed by a 1959 knee injury, faced the daunting challenge of succeeding Matt Busby as manager. McGuinness, the just 31, leveraged his experience as coach and reserve team manager to take the reins. Despite reaching 3 semi-finals, his tenure lasted only 18 months. Busby ultimately returned to management, replacing Guinness. Frank O'Farrell, Matt Busby's handpicked successor. Frank O'Farrell faced the daunting task of managing an aging Manchester United squad. Despite a promising start to the 1971 and 72 season, Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law's decline, George Best's unpredictability led to the team's downfall. O'Farrell, known for his graciousness and dignity, lasted 18 months before being dismissed in December 1972. Tommy Docherty. Manchester United, still adjusting to life after Matt Busby appointed Tommy Docherty as manager in 1972. However, relegation to the second division followed in 1972, ending a 36-year top-flight stay. Docherty led United back to the first division in 1975. The Scotsman then delivered the 1976 FA Cup, denying Liverpool a treble with a memorable Wembley victory. But Docherty's success was short-lived. He was sensationally sacked in 1977 after a scandalous affair with the wife of club physio Laurie Brown came to light. Dave Sexton. Dave Sexton replaced Tommy Docherty as Manchester United manager in 1977, having previously taken over from Docherty at Chelsea. However, Sexton failed to deliver the success the club and fans desired. In his first season, United slipped to 10th place, a significant decline from Docherty's brief period of competitiveness in the top half. Despite guiding the club to a promising second-place finish in 1980, the highest league finish since 1968, Sexton was unable to build on this momentum. As a result, he lost his job in 1981 after United's performance faltered once again. Ron Atkinson. Ron Atkinson's 5-year tenure at Manchester United in 1981 to 1986 laid the groundwork for future success. Although overshadowed by later achievements, Atkinson's era brought consistency, never finishing lower than 4th in the league. Silverware, 1983 and 1985 FA Cup wins, League Cup final appearance. Atkinson's steady leadership, reminiscent of Matt Busby's, stabilized the club after years of fluctuation. Sir Alex Ferguson. In 1986, Manchester United, facing unexpected struggles, appointed Alex Ferguson, a rising Scottish manager who had achieved remarkable success with Aberdeen, including a UEFA Cup Winners' Cup triumph over Real Madrid. Initially, Ferguson's United tenure mirrored those of his predecessors, with unremarkable league finishes. Aside from a second-place finish in 1988, a failure to match Ron Atkinson's trophy haul. However, behind the scenes, Ferguson was orchestrating a transformative project, revisiting the club's identity established by Matt Busby 40 years prior. Ferguson's patience and vision ultimately paid off by winning 1990 FA Cup, 1991 Cup Winners' Triumph, first league title in 26 years in 1993, with the dawn of the Premier League era. Under Ferguson's leadership, Manchester United dominated English football for 2 decades, fueled by homegrown talent. 30 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions League titles, 4 League Cups, 4 international trophies were won by Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. Ferguson's illustrious record cements his status as arguably the greatest manager in history, and his 2013 retirement has left an enduring void at Manchester United. David Moyes. The past repeated itself when Alex Ferguson handpicked successor David Moyes failed to replicate his success, echoing the struggles of Matt Busby's successors. Moyes had achieved consistent success at Everton over a decade, but at Manchester United he faced serious challenges like adapting to a larger club with heightened expectations, balancing his personal managerial style with United's demands, navigating a senior management structure. Despite Moyes' later claims that he required more time, the club's overwhelming results led to his dismissal just 10 months into his 6-year contract. Ryan Giggs. At 40 years old, Ryan Giggs was still an active player when he took on the role of caretaker manager for the final 4 games of the 2013-14 season, becoming Manchester United's first player manager in nearly 9 decades. Giggs' brief tenure yielded 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Notably, he gave surprise debut to young academy talents James Wilson and Tom Lawrence. Following his caretaker stint, Giggs transitioned into an assistant manager role under the newly appointed permanent boss that summer. Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal joined Manchester United in 2014, bringing with him a stellar reputation built on his success with Ajax, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich, as well as leading the Netherlands to 3rd place in the 2014 World Cup. Following the shock of United's failure to qualify for European football the previous season, the club invested heavily in new signings under Van Gaal's guidance. However, despite the significant investment, Van Gaal's team struggled to find cohesion, which hindered the achievement of significant success. Van Gaal did deliver the 2016 FA Cup, United's first trophy since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement, but his tenure was ultimately marked by criticism for his rigid and often boring playing style. Since his departure, Van Gaal has spoken critically about Manchester United's priorities, suggesting that the club is run more like a business than a football organization. Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho's appointment as Manchester United manager in 2016 sparked debate among fans who were torn between his reputation as a serial winner and concerns over his short-term approach, which seemed at odds with the club's philosophy. Mourinho's past success at Chelsea and other clubs was overshadowed by the spectacular failure of his second spell at Stamford Bridge, raising questions about his suitability for the United job. Despite initial doubts, Mourinho's allure attracted top talent including Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Paul Pogba, and Romelu Lukaku. His first season in charge yielded significant silverware, including the League Cup and Europa League title. However, problems behind the scenes persisted, and Mourinho later reflected that finishing second in the 2017 and 18 season was his greatest managerial achievement. The following season began with a toxic backdrop, and Mourinho was eventually sacked. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure as Manchester United manager was a tumultuous ride marked by incredible highs and dismal lows. Appointed initially as interim manager and later permanently, Solskjaer brought a refreshing change after Jose Mourinho's ill-fated stint. Solskjaer's arrival sparked an impressive run of 8 consecutive away wins, culminating in a miraculous Champions League comeback against PSG. However, results eventually tapered off and the 2019-20 season was split into 2 contrasting halves by the coronavirus pandemic. Under Solskjaer's tenure, Manchester United consistently reached semi-finals but failed to secure an elusive trophy. Despite optimism surrounding the 2021-22 season, Solskjaer's reign ended abruptly in late 2021 following a string of embarrassing defeats, dashing hopes of a United resurgence. Michael Carrick. Following his retirement in 2018, after 464 appearances for Manchester United, Michael Carrick seamlessly transitioned into a coaching role within the club's backroom staff. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was dismissed in 2021, Michael Carrick was entrusted with interim managerial duties. During his brief stint, Carrick led United to a commendable record: 2 wins against Villarreal and Arsenal, a draw against Chelsea. Carrick's 3-game tenure showcased his potential as a capable leader. Ralf Rangnick. Manchester United appointed experienced German coach Ralf Rangnick as interim manager for the remainder of the 2021-22 season, with a view to him transitioning into an advisory role to overhaul the club's football structure long-term. Initially, Rangnick's tenure showed promise, but he soon faced familiar challenges. Rangnick struggled to motivate the team, echoing the difficulties encountered by his predecessors, Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Despite possessing talented individual players, the team consistently underperformed, failing to reach its collective potential. Rangnick's experience highlighted the deep-seated issues within the squad. Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag commenced his tenure as Manchester United's permanent manager in summer 2022, signing a 3-year contract despite a turbulent start. Marked by consecutive Premier League defeats, Ten Hag's method gradually took hold, yielding noticeable improvements throughout the season. Demonstrating his resolve, Ten Hag made bold decisions, notably regarding Harry Maguire and Cristiano Ronaldo. The Dutch manager's impact was cemented when he ended United's 6-year trophy drought, securing the Carabao Cup in his debut season against Newcastle in the year 2023 and won the FA Cup in the 2023-24 season, defeating Manchester City. Erik ten Hag remains Manchester United manager until now. Hopefully, he takes Manchester United to the promised land. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.